You know, despite everything going on in the world, at least in terms of music, this month was way, way better than August. Yeah, I don't want to waste any time. Let's just get to it. Look, I wanted another Helplessness Blues, and I didn't get that, and I shouldn't have expected that, but I'm still a little underwhelmed with what I got. Not to say that this isn't good, because this is still very much a Fleet Foxes album. They're not shying away from using 12 tracks just for vocal layering. We don't have the same grandiose composition that we had on Helplessness Blues, or even Crack Up. This feels much more like a pop album with folk influence. Either way, I think this is Fleet Foxes' weakest project, and that's not a bad thing. It's still good, and there's a lot of really good tracks on here. I just think we need to make a little more progress next time instead of backpedaling to older ideas. I think we're going to give this one a 7 for now. Best tracks here are Sunblind, Maestranza, and Going to the Sun Road. While Fleet Foxes may have not brought their most awe-inspiring writing, Sufjan Stevens has definitely brought his A-game, showing up and showing off. I'm gonna put my health at risk here and say it, this sounds like Velocity Design Comfort at times, which you don't get many albums that I can say that about. The album makes much more sense to listen to as an entire piece rather than individual songs. When hearing tracks like Video Game on their own, it really didn't make much sense to me, but now that I've heard it all together, it makes a lot more sense. I like the IDM influence, I like the composition, I like everything about this album, except for those pop tracks. So I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Best tracks on here are Die Happy, America, and probably Landslide. Oh, OCs, when are you gonna learn? I just don't get it. Why do we have to release 2 albums every year instead of just refining our sound and making something great and making a full album that doesn't fall flat on its face by the time you reach the second half? The first half of this record is their best material since probably Floating Coffin. And I love that shit. I can't give you better than a 6.5. I'm sorry. The best tracks here are probably Scramble Suit 2, Dreary Nonsense, and Terminal Jape. More like Big Yawn. I think the most amazing thing about this album is that Dave Chappelle doing a Danny Brown impression is better than anything that comes out of Big Sean's mouth. The best track's Lucky Me. He's got a decent flow on that. Everything else is just gutter water. 5 out of 10. I might get some flack for this, but I thought that this was just too similar to MGMT's Congratulations. And I know that obviously MGMT is not the most original psychedelic group out there, but come on, parts of this album sound straight up like a cover of Siberian Breaks. Like, Mother, I've Taken LSD, that track. Listen to that and then listen to Siberian Breaks and come back and talk to me. The other parts of the album that don't sound exactly like Congratulations, though, are just harmless psychedelic pop to me. I don't know, man. Just the composition's too simple. I didn't care for the songwriting, and I didn't care for the lyrics. 5.5? Best tracks. God and the Policeman. Yeah, that Casey Musgraves feature was nice. No. This is the 4th entry in Neil's Mouth series of mashup albums, and whether we're getting Britney Spears over Beethoven's Fifth or SpongeBob over We Will Rock You, I am just floored with how funny this album is. This is almost on par with Mouth Moods, which many consider to be his best in the series. I haven't laughed this hard at an album in years. This is absolutely what I needed in these trying times. Fuck it, 9 out of 10. Best tracks are everything except for the song where you put Fireflies over Closer. That was awful. Okay, look, sometimes all you need is an acoustic guitar, a trumpet, and some sweet lyrics to put a smile on my face. Again, it's been some rough times this year. I don't need to tell you that. That being said, the sparse guitar strums haven't evolved very much since 2009, or even his last record. Still, it's sweet, it's endearing, And I like Bill's voice, so I'll give you a 7 for now. Best tracks on here are Pigeons and Protest Song. Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to use my script that I wrote for this one, because you know what my least favorite albums to review are? It's not the zeros, it's not the ones or even the twos, it's the fives. Because the fives are so boring and so unexplorative that I have almost nothing that I can say about them other than meh. Best track here is Daylight. Joji, make something interesting, please. 5 out of 10. Given Conway's ability to wield the pen the way he does, I would like an essay on why he thought it was necessary to include not 1, but 2 skits explaining how good of a lyricist he is on this album. I don't need you to tell me that. I'm here already. What are you trying to accomplish? Everything else on this record is great. Look, if you like your crusty, chunky hip-hop, you like your MF Dooms, you like your RTJs, go listen to this. Come on, I don't need to tell you. I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. Best tracks here are Lemon, Doen Damani, and Spurs 3. Better than their last record, but not quite reaching the highs of Get to Heaven, Reanimator sees the indie pop group digging into a deeper melancholy than kitsch. Sorry, I just was trying to speak the way that Pitchfork staff write. My mouth tastes like metal now. Anyway, best tracks here are Big Climb and Moonlight. 6.5. Less glitchy and much more intimate than A Quiet Farewell. You know, I don't even want to continue reviewing it after that.
Vergangenheitsbewältigung
Is a lush, nocturnal, and chilling album, all within 24 minutes. This is a triumph for Slauson Malone and everyone else that participated in the record. Easily 8.5 out of 10 from me. God damn it, I wanted to love this, but I just can't. I just can't, man. Where Joy and Brutalism found most of their power was in the ability to laugh in the face of the social issues that they talked about, but here there's almost no comedy besides maybe the occasional onomatopoeia of Joe imitating a sword. A track like Anxiety doesn't sound like it's coming from the same band that made Danny Nedelko at all. The sarcasm has just left the building entirely. And I don't know if I like IDLES without that. Not to mention that the songwriting is just definitely nowhere near as potent as it was on their previous 2 efforts. Still, the album does have its highlights, so I'm going to recommend it, but if you want to get into IDLES, listen to either of their 2 records before this. I'm gonna have to give this one a 6.5. I'm sorry. Best tracks here are War, Reigns, and Model Village. How did I listen to this album twice, thoroughly enjoy it, both times, and still only remember the one track where there's a vaporwave beat? Look, man, it's Action Bronson. You know what you're getting with Action Bronson. He's rapping about expensive things. What do you want? 6.5 out of 10. Best track is Splash. That's the vaporwave one I was talking about. I don't even think I can come up with a legitimate reason to explain why clowncore is worth your time. Look, this is like Death Grips. You're either gonna like it or hate it. I can't convince you that jazz and grindcore are ever meant to be put together. You're probably better off going to listen to Louis Cole for no specific reason. Either way, personally, I love this project. It's stupid as hell, and it's ridiculously experimental. I loved every second of it. There's a song called Baloney Penis on here. Best tracks are Flat Earth, Computers, and McDonald's. Gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. When was the last time we got a record like this out of nowhere? This is a damn skillful combination of modern pop sounds and 90s trip hop. I was really in awe, at least until the last half of the record. We veer more into ambient territory once we reach the last batch of tracks, and that's fine, they still sound good. I just thought there was so much more to be explored in the head-swinging beginning of the album. Still, definitely check this out. This deserves anyone's attention. Sevdaliza has a beautiful voice, and I really look forward to hearing what else she can do with it. Best tracks here are Dormant, All Rivers at Once, Lamp Lady, and Joanna. Gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. You know, at first I was disappointed that Anna wasn't using her voice on this record because it was so strong on the last one, Dead Magic, but I realized that the organs kind of stood on their own, and it's not because her voice doesn't need to be there. It could have been elevated by that, but the organs themselves build these storm clouds of drone, and I love it. I just get lost in it every time. It's just ethereal beyond description, man. I love this kind of drone music so much. It's so emotional and cathartic, even though you're just holding these chords for far longer than you're supposed to be. I'll give you a 7. Best tracks here are the title track and Theater of Nature. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty balanced album. Best tracks, Genesis. It's 7.5. Okay, it's like 2 a.m. and I work tomorrow, so I'm gonna stop filming now. But thanks for watching. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, whatever the hell. Just tell me if you like it. What did I miss? What should I do next? Next video is gonna be a game review, and the video after that will be another Mew Monday. Hope I can get that out in a good amount of time. Thanks.